This is John Seed, and I'd like to welcome you to a video walkthrough of my mini retrospective in Cambria, California.
Seed is a professor emeritus of art and art history at Mount St. Jacinto College. His writings on art and artists have appeared in Arts and of Asia, the Huffington Post, Hyperallergic.
So my show is called Paintings from Then and Now because it has two bodies of work. And the concept for the show really came from this painting, which is called Wine and Roses. It was in my very first and only one-man show at New Space Gallery in LA, California in 1984. It was in a private collection for 35 years, and it was recently shipped back to me, so I was reunited with that painting. It's surrounded by some of my newer watercolors, which really began a little bit before the pandemic, but took off during the pandemic because I could do them downstairs on the bookshelf. A lot of them got given away or mailed to friends. There on the other wall is a Colosseum painting from 1990 when I began teaching ancient art history, and next to it a recent watercolor, a sunset. That's a very expressionistic painting with a lot of brushwork. Then a Hemet still life from 1994 when I lived in an old farmhouse in Hemet, California, and you can see we had good parties at my house. Anyways, it's great to have that in the show as well. There's my daughter Evan in a recent watercolor, Tending Chickens, and part of the show is a display of the various writings I've been doing. So this is John Seed browsing library that I'll be showing you in a minute. Watercolor of Morro Rock, a green tree. I tell people these paintings are really abstract paintings, but they are inspired by the environment around Cambria, so they look a little bit like where I live, even if they are in my heart abstract paintings. There's one called Purple Pines. And here in the library, I want to show you some of the writing I've been doing. Armand Manoukian. These are books that I've contributed to. F. Scott Hess in Transit. For Karen Kapke, painting Occupy. Diebenkorn Park and Bischoff in Interiors and Places for Hackett Mill Gallery. Kim Froshen's Portraits of Numbers. Another Scott Hess book without its jacket. I should put that back on there. Mitchell Johnson's Color as Content. I've done a number of ceramics books for John Nitsoulis Gallery, Esther Shimazu, a gorgeous Michelle Greger book. Book for Michelle Del Campo. Another ceramicist, John Toki. A lovely and recent book by Linda Christensen. An essay about Nate Oliveira for A Family Affair at the Anderson Collection. And then a book and catalog for Carlos Ramirez. Here are some softbound catalogs: Bill Maul, Karen Aoki, Chris Benson and Sue McNally, Perry Schwartz, Chris Gwaltney, Aaron Anderson, Margaret McCann, boy these go back, Bradford Salomon, Marie Cameron, a recent show, Kelly Detweiler. Every time I write a catalog, I meet an artist. That's really the beauty of art writing. Elizabeth Barlow and her father showing together, Gage Optenbrow. There's two catalogs for Disrupted Realism, Carrie Rowland Avrek, Chris Liberty, Ruth Weisberg, David Ikavazi Powell, another Disrupted Realism. Books for Poets and Artists, Alan Gorman, Andy Densler for a Paris show he recently had, Ed Penniman of Santa Cruz, and Steve S.A.S. Schwartz, and two for Roland Peterson at the Studio Shop. Selection of magazines is there on display, and I hope you'll drop by the show. Come in. I'm going to be docenting on Sunday mornings, so come in and let's talk. I'll give you a personal tour of the show. It's there through October 30th.